Okay, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Right, okay. Now, today is our last class. Actually, the syllabus covered. Those syllabus covered, I thought of doing some revision and I will talk to you about the structure of the paper, right? So before that, do you have any questions to ask? Did you submit your assignment? Anything to ask? No. You have anything to ask from me about now? Even the examination dates are set now, fixed now, scheduled, right?
When is the exam, madam? Actually,
Didn't you get the timetable?
not yet, madam.
Maybe in a month's time, Kira, they said.
Oh, okay, madam.
So you have to get ready for that, okay? So I will talk to you about the structure of the paper and the duration and everything, and a little bit of revision. That is my plan for the day. How many are there in our class? Actually, today I see only 8. But actual number is what? Normally, how many join?
12, ma'am.
12 are there, no? And there are 4 missing today. So did you all submit your assignment?
Yes, madam.
You could do it well, no? No issues. No issues, right?
No, ma'am.
Right. Let me now open my PowerPoint and first talk to you about the structure of the paper, okay? Give me a second. Structure of the paper to discuss that. I have to open my WhatsApp first. Right. It's here. This would be the structure of the paper, okay? You will have a 3-hour paper. 2.5 hours paper. You can take it down. How much time is given for you for the paper?
2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hour paper. And you have to answer 4 questions. There are all structured essays. All structured essays. Do you know what structured essays mean? Do you know what structured essays? Do you know what structured essays mean? Please respond, dear.
No, madam, no idea.
All right. A structured essay is something like that. I will actually show you a question. Don't worry. I want to open a document. Let me see. I will show you a kind of a sample question then and show you what a structured essay is. Now I'm sharing a Word document here. So now your paper will, your paper is for 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours, 2.5 hour paper. And you have to answer 4 structured essays out of 7 given. I'll be giving 7 questions, but you can select any 4 structured essays. Is it clear to you?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Then I will show you one structured essay. Suppose if it is Piaget. You all remember Piaget's theory of what? Piaget's theory of what?
Cognitive development.
Very good. Okay, cognitive development. So මම මෙහෙම දෙන්නේ නැහැ මම අහනවා. පියාජේගේ එකෙන් මම structured essay එකක් දානවා. Right? දාලා මම අහනවා. Right. පියාජේ නෑ. You know. මම දානවා නිකන් kind of a quote. කියනවා the cognitive development takes place in stages and it is age related. It is age related. It's a quote. Mandana, it's Piaget. Then one. Normally a structured essay has parts, right? So part one. I write. Right. Describe the process of cognitive development, referring to assimilation and accommodation. පළවෙනි එක. Then I write the second one. I write a brief essay on the 4 stages of cognitive development by Piaget, referring to the following. කියලා මම දානවා the following are these. මොනවද වෙන්න පුළුවන්? Stage, age, significant cognitive development, key feature, and the study done. You have to talk about each and every stage. So I give you the breakdown of the mark. So breakdown of the mark for the first. Now, if you have to answer only 4 questions, normally a paper is marked out of 100. Now, each question may carry 25, right? So I will give 12 for the first one, 13 for the second one, making it 25. Suppose I make it like that, 10 plus 50, 25 marks. So you have to know, you have to look at the breakdown of the mark. So for the first part, you write less than what you write for the second part. I have allocated marks like that because I know you can discuss more in the part 2. So I can add another one if you want, part 3. So there are 3 parts to the question now. You have to study the question and think of what you're going to write. So state 3 educational implications of Piaget. Then, of course, I make the mark allocation like this. 8, 10, 7. Then you know how much you have to write. Am I right?
Yes, madam.
Yeah. So these are structured essays. That means they are essay questions. You can write a lot, but they are structured. They are put into parts. But remember, normally you are expected to write 3/4 of a page. 3/4 of a page for 5 marks. If not half a page for 5 marks. So half a page to 3/4 page is for 5 marks normally. As you don't have any idea, I'm telling you. Got it? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I will show you another one. A simple question. It's another example would be something like that. You have to give me a second. I will open my right. It's here. Right. Right. Yeah. I'm opening another one. All right. Now here, look at this. Can you see, or I have to share it again? Let me. Right. I'm sharing another document. Now look at this question. This one. Here, this is a structured essay, but it's made a very student-friendly one. You see, no question?
Yeah, madam.
Yeah, I have put it into 5 parts. There are 20, it's marked out of 25. But you can see there are 5 parts. Each question carrying 5. So name the 5 stages of psychosexual development stated by Freud. You have not done it. Anyway, this is a sample question, right? What is the term used by Sigmund Freud in his theory of? Then you get only 5 marks for each. Let me share another one, then you will see it's easier for you. Now look at this. Can you see questions learning?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So there, you can, this is a sample I show you. Question. This is a sample of structured essay, but it's very simplified. Here, A. How does learning take place according to the following theories? So I ask, now that question 1 carries only 6 marks. 6 marks means 2 each. How does learning take place according to the following theories? Classical conditioning by Pavlov. Can you give me the answer if you can remember? How does learning take place according to classical conditioning?
Yeah, that dog, ma'am.
Yeah, how does learning take place? Through association. Through association of what? Unconditioned stimulus and the conditioned stimulus. Association is the answer. How does learning take place in operant conditioning?
Reinforcement and punishment.
Yeah, through reinforcement and punishment, you're correct. Social learning theory by Bandura. Ayyo, can't remember, no? Y'all don't study on regular basis. No? Social learning theory by Albert Bandura. Observational learning. What does it talk about?
Observational learning.
Give a classroom example of classical conditioning. That's part B එක. ඒතර මේ තුනටම ලකුණු 6යි. එකකට 2යි. නිකන් උත්තරේ ලියන්න තියෙන්නේ. Okay? එතකොට second එක part B. Part B එකට ලකුණු 2යි දෙන්නේ. මොකද තියලා තියෙන්නේ? Give a classroom example of classical condition. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතන්න ඕනේ මම දුන්නා discuss කරනකොට classroom examples I gave you. I told you now there's a student ඔයගලට මතකද මේ උගන්වපු ඒවා?
Yes, ma'am.
එතකොට classroom example එකක් කියන්න පුළුවන්ද? Can you give me a classroom example of classical conditioning? Student A doesn't like English, but he likes group work. So you always make sure that you teach English. In the English class, you give them group work, give him group work. So after some time of bonding, the neutral stimulus English with the unconditioned stimulus group work, there is acquisition taking place. Now the neutral stimulus is transformed into a conditioned stimulus. Now even without group work, the student likes learning English. Can you write something like that?
Yes, madam.
කතා නොකර ඉඳලා බෑ පාඩම් කරන්න ඕනේ ළමයි. Now C. ඒකට ලකුණු දෙකයි දුන්නේ. C. Name 4 types of rewards and punishments and provide a classroom example of one of the types. හතරම නම් කරන්න. Name කියන්නේ නම් කරන්න. ඒතර හතරම ලියනවා. මොනවාද හතර කියලා මතකද? Can you remember?
Positive rewards, negative rewards.
Positive punishment and negative punishment. එකකට example එකක් කියන්න. අපි ගමු positive reward එකක්. එතකොට good behavior එක හිතන්න. මොකද good behavior එක doing homework. So for doing homework, the child is given a red star. It's a positive reinforcement. අන්න ඒ වගේ we have discussed them. You have to know them, right? Okay. Now for that, C, you get 4 marks. එතකොට 4 marks, naming the 4 types 2 marks. For the example for one type 2 marks. Okay. Very little that you have to write. You don't have to write pages there. Some questions are like that. Some questions you have to write 5 marks, now half a page at least. Okay. Then D part. Provide classroom examples for the following schedules of reinforcement proposed by Skinner: fixed ratio and continuous ratio. Can you think of fixed ratio reinforcement? Sorry? Yeah. Yana Putta? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you provide? Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Am I audible to you, madam?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, madam. Can you provide model papers for us?
No, normally model papers are not made available, no, because this is only a very short course. එතකොට model paper එකක් එවනවා කියන්නේ same thing will be there in. This is I'm giving you an idea how to be prepared for the paper. සාමාන්‍ය model question papers දෙන්නේ නැහැ. For the other subject, did you get?
This is our first subject, ma'am.
Yeah, that's fine, ma'am. Can you send this paper, ma'am?
Yeah, I will send you some questions.
Yeah, ma'am.
හැබැයි
That's good.
හැබැයි don't get misled. Because
That's
this is
better,
not the
madam.
structure of the paper, right? This is not the structure of the paper.
Then
These
we
are
can
some.
go through those questions, ma'am.
ඒක හරි. අපි එකට කියනවා sign posting කියලා. I will send you a set of questions then.
Okay, ma'am. That's
Right.
good.
Right. Then you know provide දැන් ඇහුවත් වැඩක් නෑ. ඔයගලන්ට මතක නෑ නේද? Am I right? Now here I have put name
It's
the
a good
9.
idea, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Good idea කියන්නේ මොකද්ද good idea එක?
Yeah, ma'am. Little have to study little more, ma'am. That's right.
All right. Okay. So I'll be sending you some questions. හැබැයි remember, that is not the structure of the paper, right? Paper එකේ ප්‍රශ්න 6ක් තියෙනවා. ඒ 6න් ඕගොල්ලෝ 6ක් හරි 7ක් හරි තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ලියන්න ඕනේ 4යි. You have to answer only 4 questions. එතකොට ඒවයේ තියෙන කොටස් එක question එකකට ලකුණු 25ක් දෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ question එකේ ලකුණු breakdown එක දෙනවා. I give you the breakdown and the marks. Then what you have to do is you have to look at the breakdown of the marks and see how much is the mark allocation. 5ක් විතර දීලා තියෙනවා නම් you all have to write a half a page. ඒ කියන්නේ explain කරලා example එකක් ලියනවා. දැන් සමහර ඒවා තියෙනවා ඇත්තටම ඒව තනියම ලියන්න දුන්නම you can't write because it's very difficult. So එතකොට මම මේ වගේ ගොඩක් පොඩි කෑලි වලට කඩනවා. So one question may have about 6-7 parts. Then for one part you get only 2-3 marks. So then accordingly you have to write very little. තේරෙනවද ඔයාලට මං කියන එක?
Yes, madam.
Today Channa is not there. Channa is from your class, no?
Yeah, madam, I
Yeah,
think he's not here.
He's not here today. Right. Anyway, you have access to your you have access to the recording. So ask him also to listen to the recording and come to know about the paper and the structure and what purposes these questions will serve. Then I can actually do, we have some time today. This is a revision session. So can I actually, can you ask me any area that you want me to do revision on? Because all the parts cannot be done. And you actually studied motivation and learning for the assignment. ඒක නිසා ඒ part එකකින් එන්නේ නැහැ විභාගෙට. Are you all listening to me?
Yeah, madam.
Yeah,
Now
ma'am.
motivation that is done for the assignment, no, may presentation. Because of that, you don't study that part for the written exam. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So your written examination was now written assignment was given on which part?
That is BF NIT. That is,
There was a question on Piaget. Am I right?
yeah.
Then
Piaget and the
PF Skinner,
Ivan, yeah.
Classical conditioning, operant conditioning.
Gagny,
from all these parts, there were many questions. I'm referring to the assignment given to you.
Yes, ma'am. And-
ඒ assignment එකේ මොනවද තිබුණේ කියලා මතකද?
Yeah, ma'am. The theory of
Garner's multiple intelligence theory.
That
Example
means
of
that
theory.
we can't be, I'm opening it. පොඩක් ඉන්න. You all don't talk, I have to shout and repeat. No, that is very bad. I find it difficult. Anyway, what to do, right? This is your assignment. Let me see. In that assignment, this is the presentation one, no? Presentation one. So I have given you written assignment also. Let's see the written assignment given to you. Wait,
yeah, ma'am. Written assignment, classroom implications of Piaget theory of cognitive development. Ma'am.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, ma'am. Another one. Classroom classical condition by Ivan Pavlov.
Ivan Pavlov.
Yeah. Another one.
Let me.
Multiple Intelligence.
Yeah, wait,
propose-
I want to actually see the questions. Because you know why? Then I am going to talk to you about the structure now. So because of that, I really want to talk to you about the paper assignment. I have to actually have a look at the assignments sent through. Give me a second. Okay. There's a small issue that I can't open this. Give me a second. Right. Now it's there. Wait. We'll have a look at it because I want to make it very clear that what I'm going to give you. Here, this is the assignment. Your date of submission. පළවෙනි එක Piaget's cognitive development theory is based on stages that children go through. They grow, lead them to discuss referring to the cognitive process and stages. Write a brief essay on implications. Activity 2, compare and contrast classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Done and key concepts. Select one of the theories and discuss in brief how those concepts can be related to classroom teaching and learning. Activity 3, select any lesson you prefer from any subject grade you teach, mention the grade teach and its multiple intelligence. ඊළඟට stage model of memory and Gestalt laws of perception. So this is actually what I have given you. So can I make it that your next one, I'm not going to touch upon these areas. Right? I'm not going to touch upon these areas, but I'm going to set on intelligence. We can take intelligence as one component. Am I right? Now, I'm asking you, are you listening?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
මට දැන් දැනගන්න ඕනේ. Now, 5 areas I have covered, no? Right? Without giving you questions on what I have got you to do for assignment. Can I touch upon the rest of the areas for the written exam, or can I make it from the whole syllabus? Which is easier for you? If I don't want to touch upon the areas covered in the written assignment, you have less to study.
Yes, madam. I think
Oh, ma'am.
that's
Yeah, that's
no.
good, ma'am, because the lesson is good, no?
Oh, y'all want it like, my goodness. Now, is it then the areas will be what I do not cover in this, right? What I do not cover in this, but I have to take motivation as one. Otherwise, we don't have, no, because most of the areas are covered in your written assignment.
Yes, ma'am.
Piaget covered. එතකොට classical and operant covered. Then stage cognition, some stage model ever covered. But in the cognition, Gestalt laws are not covered. Am I right?
Yeah, ma'am.
ඒ වගේ, I have not covered that. I will actually take that part as for the final examination and set only 4 questions. Then you will not have choice. Is it okay?
Madam,
I
think
want every
there
one
are-
of you to tell me what I'm going to do. But
Madam,
if I ask, yes,
I think if there are choices, it will be very helpful to us.
then choices are there. You have to study the whole syllabus and come. That is it, no? Not otherwise, I can't give you choices, ne? Because it's only a 10-day session, right? 20 hours. Then if I'm to give you a choice, then of course I have to set the questions from whole syllabus. If you don't get a choice, you know which areas you have to study and come. No? That's the issue. I want you to give me some of your ideas. Some of your ideas. Choice එකක් දෙන්න බෑ එහෙම තෝරගත්ත කොටසකින් paper එක අදරවල. Please unmute me. Sulochana. Yes, Sulochana. You do I have to unmute you? How can I do that? I don't think that I can unmute you. I can't do that.
You have been unmuted, it seems, ma'am.
So how can I unmute? So you are talking now.
Yeah, not me. It's Sulochana.
Yeah, but I have no kind of way of doing that. I can't unmute her. I can mute people, but I can't unmute as the host. That's the issue, Sulochana. So let's see chat box. I actually have a doubt here then. Then I will do as I want. But I want to talk to you about it. Then you will come to know how much that you all have to study and all that. No, because of that, this discussion is needed. But if I'm to actually remove what is given for your written assignment, then of course I have no way of giving you a choice. No, little is remaining then. No. මොකද කියන්නේ?
Yeah, ma'am. Rest of the lesson only. My idea is that, ma'am.
Rest of
Because
the lesson.
Yeah, ma'am. If we study whole lesson with the school work, it's little difficult. That's why.
Yeah, I also feel because for your assignment anyway, even though it is open book, you have come to know what it is කියලා. You have come to a better understanding of those areas. Am I right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, because of that, I also prefer, then I try to do less. Now, motivation we can take, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now you take down the areas that I will cover, may take into consideration for the examination, written examination. Can you take down?
Okay, ma'am.
Every one of you, right? So,
Okay, ma'am.
first unit, introduction to psychology, the first day what I did, with the 4 main schools of thoughts, and what is psychology, what is educational psychology. That unit, can you remember? And implications of educational psychology for the teacher, can you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
That can be one question.
Can you repeat? Give me.
ඔක්කොම කියන්න බෑ unit 1 එක. Okay, unit 1 එකේ what I did, you know, no? Unit 1 කියලා
Okay.
දාගන්න. Unit 1 what I did. මොනවද මං ඒකේ කරේ, what is psychology, what is educational psychology, the 4 main branches or 4 main schools of thought when it comes to psychology and teacher implications of educational psychology. That can be taken as one area for one question. Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Second one, motivation. Motivation, I did not teach. Ada mama teach karannan, but I wanted you to be prepared for your presentation by reading it. So motivation is second one, motivation and learning. Right? Harida.
Okay, ma'am.
Third ekata, I did not give you any question on Gestalt laws of perception. Am I right? Gestalt laws වලින් උත්තර දෙන්නකෝ අනේ assignment එකේ මුකුත් තිබුණ නැහැනේ Gestalt laws වලින් නේද?
There was
Yeah,
a
ma'am.
question.
Yeah.
මොකද තිබුණේ? මොකද
Yeah.
තිබුණේ?
Gestalt law of perception
Law.
and their educational implication.
කියලා තිබුණා assignment එකේ.
Yes,
එහෙමද?
madam.
Yes, there.
Oh, madam.
එතකොට එහෙමනම් ඒක දෙන්නත් බෑ. Stage model එකක් තිබුණානේ.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, madam.
Then almost all the areas are covered there, ne?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then I think best thing is to I will set the assignment on everything I have done and set 7 questions. Get you to actually prepare for 4 questions. You can select and study. That is what we can do, no? Otherwise, now I can take first unit. I can take motivation as the second one. I can take intelligence as the third one. තව එකක් area එකක් තියනවද කරපු නැති? That I have not set any questions on, but I have done it with you all. Is there any other area? Albert Bandura, did I do with you all?
I think, ma'am, no, because one class I missed. So I couldn't remember, ma'am.
I did know. Bobo
You
doll
did, madam.
experiments. Yeah, I think this is how I'm going to set the paper now. Be very sure of it. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. Now, I will take motivation is taken for presentations, right? And it's not actually adequately covered. You selected a portion and did not. So I will set a question on motivation. So you have to study. I will set a question on intelligence. So you have to study. Then I will set a question on unit 1. What I covered on the very first day with teacher implications of educational psychology. Third one. Then I will get you to look at learning theories, which is not discussed, which is not given for the written assignment. So which is not given for the written assignment, what is learning? Right? What is learning? Give me a second. Today I am in a class. Urgent thing. All right, okay. Then I have done some mono that you can actually, you have Bandura's social learning theory. You have, I have done Gagny also. Make him Gagny gan ahala tiyenawada? Have I asked anything about Gagny here? No, no.
No.
Then Gagny, Vygotsky, and Bandura. So there are 4 areas for us to discuss. Am I right?
Yeah, ma'am.
The 4 areas would be again first unit, the first day session. Then you have learning what is not given for the assignment. Okay. Then the last session, the previous one, intelligence. And then motivation. There are 4 questions. If possible, I will actually set another question from an area which I've done, but you have to answer only 4 කියලා. So for that, I have to actually look at what I have done with you all. Then I give you 5 questions and I'm getting you to write 4 කියලා පුළුවන්ද කියලා තව area එකක් I'm trying to look at. Do you have any idea about something that I have done but not given tested? Anything coming to your mind? Hari amaru, y'all don't respond appa. Now, growth and development, unit 3, cognition. Under cognition, are you listening?
Yeah, ma'am.
Under
Yeah.
cognition,
Yeah, madam.
we discuss forgetting, right? But not a lot,
Yes.
not very many much. But intelligence and learning, that motivation is there. Motivation and learning, second one. Unit 1 is the third one, and then some learning theories not tested in the written assignment will be taken into consideration. Then there are 4. You have to answer all the 4 here. What do you think? Is it okay with you?
Yeah, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Madam, okay.
I did this also, Ned. Erik Erikson's theory of social development, didn't I do?
Yes, ma'am.
ඒකෙනුත් question එකක් දාන්න. එතකොට 5 you have to select social development and learning කියලාත් එකක් කරානේ. Social development and learning. ඒකේ I have done actually what is social development, characteristics of social development. Did I do this?
Yes, ma'am.
Then did I discuss Erik Erikson's theory?
Yes, ma'am.
That is also the 5th one. So I will get you to look at 5 areas and I will get you to select only 4. 2.5 hours of the paper. Are you all okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, madam.
Right. So that is how it's going to be. Do you really want me to discuss motivation because it's not taught to you? It's given for self-study. Do you really want me to
Yes, ma'am.
discuss? All right.
Yeah, madam. Yeah.
Channa, you were listening all the time. Were you listening?
Yeah, ma'am, but I missed some parts. Yeah, ma'am.
Your
I was
connection
listening,
is
but
not steady,
I
right?
there are some
Right. This is,
signal
yeah,
issues.
that is it. Your
ma'am.
connection is not steady. But anyway, I can give you
Yes,
the
ma'am.
I can give you the final decision now. Your paper is, you can take down all of you, otherwise you are in trouble. No? I really want you to study and do it nicely, though it's online. They will actually monitor you, right? They will get you to have your cameras on, so you can't copy. And the questions, I will not set that you can just copy paste. So because of that, you all have to study. So it's a 2.5 hour paper. Take down 2.5 hour paper. I will set 5 structured essays. And you have to select 4 and write answers. So your questions are marked, each question is marked out of 25. So if it is a structured essay, your question might carry 3 or 4 parts. Your question might carry 3 or 4 parts. So how the breakdown of the marks given? 10, 15, only 2 parts. So which part carries more marks, which carries less marks? You have to think about it and then accordingly write the answer. Normally for me, 5 marks is half a page. 5 marks is half a page, right? Then what are the areas that you have to study? We are not going to actually set the question paper on the whole syllabus because I have tested you in the written assignment. Okay, because of that, the written paper will cater to these areas. These are the areas. The first session, we are gonna session 1 on Introduction to Educational Psychology, in which we discussed what is psychology, what is educational psychology, 4 major schools of thoughts in educational psychology as cognitivism, behaviorism, psychoanalysis, and humanism. And then educational implications or teacher implications of educational psychology. So that can be one question, one area for a question. Second area would be in learning theories. For the assignment, I gave you classical conditioning and operant conditioning, right? But I did not give you any questions on Gagny, right? I did not give any questions on Gagny, Bandura's social learning theory, Vygotsky. So I will set a question on Gagny's information processing theory, the 9 events of instructions, and then Bandura's social learning theory, and then Vygotsky's socio-cultural learning theory. That would be the second area. Third එක වෙන්නේ, I did not actually teach you motivation. Instead, I set you a speaking assessment. No, actually, it's not speaking, presentation on motivation. I will actually give a written question on motivation. I'll be discussing it today before we stop. And motivation and learning can be another area. So 3 areas by now. Then the fourth area is social development and learning, which I discussed with Erik Erikson. Erik Erikson's theory and social development. And the fifth area is the last time session, intelligence. Intelligence. Is it clear to you now?
Yes, madam.
So you study these areas and be ready for your written examination. Don't take it for granted because now I have given you all the support. Make it very feasible for you to actually study in a month's time. Though I have been telling you on regular basis, study, Kela, I know you might not have done it. Because of that, now you have a month's time. You have to study only 5 areas. So you all have to actually be prepared for the written examination. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, madam. Thank you very much.
Ammo, kohomada, thank you, Par. No, it is now, that is now when you are doing your written assignment, though it's open book, you all have actually revised that area now. So you know what it is now. Because of that, what is learning කියන එකත් මත් බලන්න. Learning theory එක දෙන්න what is learning. Then Gagny, Vygotsky and Bandura. ඒකේ one question එකක්. ඒ වගේ තමයි කරන්න. So do you really want me to actually discuss motivation?
Yes, ma'am.
If you can, that's better, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Let me open the document now. Right. This is the one, and Annex 1. Motivation and learning. Right. Here, right. Can you see the document shared? Motivation and learning.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So this is the area that we are going to cover. What is motivation? Types of motivation. Theories of motivation and their educational implications. There are several theories, but we are going to look at 2 theories. That is Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory of motivation Keller's model of motivation. So that is what we are going to discuss today. So I really do not want to actually go by this. I will just tell you what is motivation, Keller. Now, you all have actually studied this for your presentation purpose. Would you like to talk about what is motivation and what are the key words in a definition of motivation? Anybody? Can you remember what is motivation? Right. A motivation is a kind of a need in us, right? Motivation is a kind of a need in us. Some say the sense of wanting in us, right? Motivation is a sense of wanting in us. But do you think that all the needs we have are motivations? Do you think that it happens? Normally, human beings are they have unlimited needs to be fulfilled, right? You can't easily satisfy them. Now, today you have a car, next day you want a more expensive one. So once you have that car, you will go for a Range Rover. And once you have a Range Rover, you will decide on something more than that. Likewise, our needs are always actually not limited, they are unlimited. But if you look at motivation, motivation is actually not very high when it comes to everyone, right? We are not always highly motivated. So is it right to say then motivation is our need or the sense of wanting in us? No, there's a difference also. Yeah, a motivation is a need transformed. It's all right. Motivation begins with the need, but that need should have these qualities for it to be transformed into a motivation. The needs in individuals, the needs in us, they should have certain qualities. Then only that need is transformed into a motivation. Each and every need is not a motivation. So a motivation begins with a need. That is yes. But that need should be actually, the need should fulfill different aspects in order to be transformed into a motivation. What are those aspects to be fulfilled? First one, you can take down, the need should be a persistent one. The need should be a persistent one. What is meant by persistent? Persistent කියලා කියන්නේ on actually regular basis that you really need that. You're not giving it up. You're not giving it up. That need is persistent in you, very constant. Now, for example, you may be interested in gardening. Maybe that you like to have a nice garden, right, with flowers and everything. So when you actually see a beautiful flower, you bring it home. But you will look after the flower only for 1 or 2 weeks, then forget about it. Then the motivation is not there. Why? Your need to have a nice garden is not consistent, not persistent, right? Then it's not a motivation. So need is the beginning of a motivation, but need has to be transformed into a motivation by making it a constant, persistent need. Eka. Second eka. It should give you direction. The need, if you want to make it, transform it to a motivation, that need will give you directions. Now, for example, you have a need. That need is to get your qualifications, right? To get a qualifications to be a professional teacher. That is your need. And now you know it has given you directions. You first look for a place, a good institute to actually follow your degree, right? And then which campus? What is the degree that you want to do? Now it's B.Ed, right? That's the trend now for teachers. Likewise, it has given you directions. That is another quality, that the need is transformed into a motivation. Then the third important is the need, that is how a motivation begins, but it has to be transformed into a motivation because the need has given you goals. The need has given you goals. So ultimate goal of getting professional, becoming a professional teacher, getting into your masters, like that, it has given you a goal. So you're looking towards the full reaching of the goal. Then the need is transformed to a motivation. Is it clear to you? It's not clear to you.
It's clear, madam.
All right. Then if I ask you define motivation, you can say motivation is a form of need. A motivation begins with a need in you, but that need, all needs are not transformed into motivations. So the need to be transformed into a motivation, there should be the criteria to be fulfilled. One is persistence. Second is direction. The third is actually the goal. So you're working towards reaching that goal. So because of that, your need is now a motivation. You don't give up for challenges. You face challenges, but still you don't give up, right? Maybe that financially you're challenged. Maybe that workload, you're challenged, but you're very kind of hardworking. You're not ready to give up because you're motivated now. Why motivated? That need is constant in you. It's persistent in you. It has given you direction and goals to achieve. That is how it happens. Okay. Now we'll come to the second topic under motivation and learning. There are two main types of motivation. Types of motivation. There are two main types of motivation, We call it extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation, intrinsic motivation. They are the two main types of motivation. So let's see what is extrinsic, what is intrinsic. Somebody is motivated because of the external factors. Somebody is motivated to do something because of the external factors, like something not within, but because of the influence of the environment of the individual. Now, in psychology, environment is not sky and animals and water, but everything not within you. Everything not within you is your environment. So if somebody is motivated due to the environmental factors, that is termed as extrinsic motivation. For example, now you want to do this B.Ed. Why? Then you are entitled to get a salary increment. You want to do this B.Ed because you want to migrate. So there are different purposes in life. They are not within you. That is the society, others, because of some environmental factors. You did not decide on BA, you decide on B.Ed, and you want to actually do it in a affiliated campus. Why? Because you have the opportunity, then you will have the opportunity to migrate one fine day. Thinking of that, what environment gives you, you are motivated to do something that is extrinsic. Now, in the classroom, if your students do homework because they like the teacher praising them, you tell them, very good girl, you have done your homework. Very good boy, you are very neat and you are very kind. Then their teachers' praises and compliments. Students like it. And to receive teachers' compliment, they actually do that. So they are extrinsic motivation. They are motivated due to external factors. The threat or the danger is, once the external factors are not available, you will not be motivated to do that. So suppose this B.Ed, you're doing it because you want to migrate. Now they say, migration is not possible with these degrees now. So you will give it up because your purpose of motivation behind doing this degree was migration. That is one. That is the threat or the danger. Once the reward is not there, you tend to give it up. You tend not to do that. That is a danger. But why do we use extrinsic motivation then? That is good because you can actually establish a good new learning or new behaviors in you through the extrinsic rewards, right? Now, because of migration, it's available to you. Now you're actually reading for this degree. So it has the external factors can make you motivated to do something. So that is why it's there in classroom. So let's see what is intrinsic motivation. The individual is motivated to do something due to the internal factors within the individual. For example, enjoyment, right? Interest and curiosity, satisfaction, right? Sense of competence and mastery, autonomy, right? So you get a sense of satisfaction. Now you are doing this B.Ed not to migrate, not for increments, nothing, but it gives you a sense of satisfaction. Reading for a degree and improving your knowledge, developing your skills, right? They make you a happy individual. You like that, right? Because of that only you're doing it. So it's not for increments, you're not targeting migration, nothing. But a sense of satisfaction, I'm learning something, I'm not stagnated. I really want to actually explore the world of knowledge. That kind of internal factors are there that sometimes make you motivated to do something. Now, in classrooms, I'm asking you, y'all are all, most of y'all have teaching experience. In classroom, your students are, how they are actually motivated, how they can be easily motivated, intrinsically or extrinsically.
Extrinsically.
Yeah, they are young. Because of that, you can easily actually get them to extrinsically motivated. They are not intrinsically motivated because in schools, they are young learners. But you use extrinsic motivation because then one fine day, right? One fine day that you can actually get them to be intrinsically motivated as well. Because they're experiencing it. They are doing it for rewards, external factors. But once you actually get into the habit of doing it over and over, so you want to do it for your own satisfaction as well. For example, if you take a student who is not into reading, so you introduce a reward system. Now the student has started reading. And then you go to thinking of B.F. Skinner's uh, uh, schedules of reinforcement, not each and every time, right? But not each and every time. But they still do. And ultimately, no reward is there. Now they have got into the habit of reading and they have gone through that experience and they see it as very satisfying. So now they do reading for satisfaction. That is intrinsic. So that is the role of the teacher, right? In motivating your students. You don't have to think only of extrinsic motivation and stop at that. Always try to transform their extrinsic motivation into intrinsic motivation. There are research papers, they say everything is done for the purpose of a reward in this materialistic world. So when it comes to marriage also, it's a marriage of convenience. Why? If there's no reward, they don't want to get married because they're used to this reward system in this materialistic world. Even the schools, even the teachers, even the parents, even the society, right? So they actually have introduced a reward system. Everybody is made to actually go for a reward in doing something, and ultimately when they grow up, they actually, when it comes to marriage also, it's a marriage of convenience. For a reward only that they get married. What is absent in that marriage is, they say, love. They get married not for love, but for rewards, maybe dowry, maybe status, like that. So that is what has happened to the society because of this reward system. So our education system should not actually produce individuals who are actually always reward oriented. Instead, you start with rewards, because otherwise it's very difficult to get them to do that. But start with extrinsic motivation, but make sure that you have to take them towards intrinsic motivation. Example, now we all actually encourage the students to learn musical instruments, dancing and all that. Why? How do you extrinsically motivate them? You have competitions, you have first, second, third place, you can go for stage plays and stage performances, then everybody will come to know you, they will actually, you will have recognition, they were all extrinsic. Yeah, you're encouraging them, you give them certificates, like that, right? Okay, extrinsic. But as a teacher, you have to transform that into intrinsic motivation as well. So you can say, this semester, your classroom project, your class project would be, you're visiting an elder's home, you're going to actually play your instruments, do some performances, dancing, singing, and entertain them. Wow, then you're a good teacher. You have an understanding how to motivate your students both intrinsically and extrinsically. That's one example that I gave you. So with that, here, classroom examples I've given you, okay? Then theories of motivation. Before I talk, do you have any questions? Theories of motivation, before I start. Are you, do you have any questions?
No, madam.
Right, others? Right,
No.
No, ma'am.
theories,
No,
right.
no, madam.
Yeah, there are several theories that discuss motivation and learning. But we will look at the first one, a very common one. Anybody should know this. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow is the actually he's the psychologist, okay? Abraham Maslow. And he proposes this hierarchy of needs and discusses how individuals are motivated. So you can apply that in the classroom to motivate your students to learn as well. It is not only in educational setup. Even if you're HR manager, you should know how your employees, right, will be motivated. Like that. Okay, so here in educational setup, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he says all individuals, this is the original one. In the revised one, there are 8 layers, but we are looking at the original one. Okay, and according to Maslow, individuals are motivated due to or based on the need fulfillment. Based on need fulfillment. Individuals have needs and they are motivated to fulfill their needs. That is the Maslow's basis. I repeat, according to Maslow, individuals, they have needs and they are motivated to fulfill these needs. So if the individuals have needs and they are motivated for the fulfillment of needs, we have to know what are the needs that they are actually motivated to fulfill. And Maslow, the needs that the individuals have, they are put into an hierarchical order. Maslow put them into a pyramid or into a hierarchical order. And this hierarchical order depicts this hierarchical order of needs that individuals are motivated to fulfill. they are actually placed in the pyramid according to the importance of these needs. According to the importance of these needs. So the most important needs are put in at the bottom. The most important. So in a pyramid, the broadest area is the bottom, right? The broadest area is the bottom. So the broadest area depicts the most important needs. And then on top of the most important needs, the second level. That is the second most important needs of the individual. And then the third is the third most, and on top of it, the fourth most, and then the fifth most important needs of the individual. So the pyramid or the hierarchy depicts the needs of the individual in the order of the importance, and the most important at the bottom. Right? Right. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So he identifies 5 levels of needs. How many levels? Originally 5, later on 8, but we are looking at 5. How many levels? 5 levels of needs.
Levels.
Yeah. What is the first level? Physiological needs. Physiological needs are bodily needs. Air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction, they are physiological needs, right? Leisure, they are all physiological, bodily needs. They are the most important. They are the most important. Right. We'll go to the second level, the second most important. It's safety needs, right? Safety needs means you all have a sense of safety. Now, at home, if your parents don't love you, if the parents fight, the child doesn't feel secure in the house, at home. In school, if the child is bullied, the child doesn't feel secure in school. That sense of safety is not actually fulfilled in the child. Now, suppose you're doing a job and it's not a permanent job. So anytime that you will lose your job, you do not have that sense of security with regard to the job. Now, in Sri Lanka, we are going through a very difficult period, inflation. We have lost our sense of security, safety, right? So people are trying to migrate and all that, it's there. No? Now, here you can see, when we had the 3 decades war, right? 3-decade war. You know, in the north and east, the Tamil population, they actually did not have any sense of security, right? In this country, I'm not secure. I'm not secure. That's what they thought, right? Likewise, it's very important that we have a sense of security too. That need is there. If it is not fulfilled, that is a problem. So the second most important is that sense of security. Not only at home, lovely family, loving each other. Workplace, financially you're secure. And in a country, you're safe. And in school, you're not bullied, you're not shouted at, you are kind of secure, the sense of security. That is the second most important need in us. Then you go to the third one, love and belongingness. So love and belongingness means we want to feel that we are loved by others. At home, you get your parents' love, siblings, mother and father, they don't have favoritions just because elder brother is good at studies, the younger one is not penalized, no comparisons like that. And then in school, teachers love you, other friends love you, no favoritions. Students feel that I'm loved in my school. I'm loved by my teacher. I'm loved by my friends. That is sense of love and belonging in the school context. That is the third most important. Then only the fourth most important, the esteem. Esteem needs means you want to achieve. You want to do well in your studies. You want status. You want recognition. You want respect, right? In school context, that your students want to actually score very well, pass exams with colors, want to get praised by others, recognition is needed. They will try to do their best when it comes to the fourth important need. Then the self-actualization is possible. Self-actualization can fully functioning. Desire to become the most that one can be. That desire, that need comes to you if all the other four levels are actually completed satisfactorily. And according to humanistic psychologists, all human beings are born with the desire to become self-actualizers, fully functioning individuals, but only less than 5% reach that. Throughout their actually experiences in life, they lose that desire in them. They have given it up because the bottom layers are not fully met. That is why. Now, if you want to understand this to the fullest, this is the underlying principle. I repeat, this is the underlying principle. According to Maslow, if the bottom layer is not fulfilled, the next level is not actually, the individual is not motivated to fulfill its next level. If the bottom layer is not fulfilled, they are not motivated for the next level motivation, fulfillment of the next level needs. Because of that, if your child in the class is hungry, tired, due to lack of sleep, due to lack of leisure, thirsty, hungry, sleepy, the child will not actually be motivated for any of the others. The child will be motivated only to fulfill that need in the child. So the child will not actually focus on anything else, right? So as teachers, what's the implication? Because if they are hungry, if they are sleepy, if they are thirsty, if they are tired, they want to fulfill that need first. They want something to eat, they want something to drink, they want to rest and all that. So they will not think of any of the upper levels. So you can't actually teach a hungry child. You can't actually teach a tired child. So you have to make sure that the child is comfortable, the child is actually, the child has had her meals, when the child is thirsty, you have to give him opportunity to drink some water. Now, when we started teaching 25 years back, I was in a school, and that school, they did not actually want the children to drink water even after excusing, right? So the child was not allowed. Now they say each bell get into the habit of giving them some water breaks. And some Colombo schools now actually after the first period, they give them 5-10 minutes for their breakfast. Likewise, so physiological needs to be met, then only that they will be motivated to fulfill the upper levels. This is not met, they are not motivated to fulfill any of the others, okay? Then, second level, safety needs. Safety means actually they have to have a sense of security. Now, in the school, if the child is bullied, the child will not think of studying, the child will not think of doing anything in the school, the child will eternally live in fear. So he is not motivated to do studies or anything because studies is fourth level, right? So you should not get anybody to bully any other. You should have to play the same, you should have to create a very safe environment for your child to learn. Now, if suppose now time to time in the school, we had a time like that in the north and east, or maybe in Colombo also bombs go. So the child can't concentrate on any other things. They will live only in that level. They are not motivated to go to the upper, upper levels. Then love and belongingness is sense of belongingness. In school, the teacher loves me, students love me, I am somebody, I'm actually given some responsibilities. Everybody is nice to me at home. We are a happy family. All these are should be fulfilled. Then
Ma'am,
only, yeah.
couldn't hear you, madam.
Hey, Mr. Vela. All this time or now only?
Only now, yeah.
Ah, right, okay. Then the esteem needs. Esteem needs is they are only that they will be motivated to study, do their best, right? Get good marks and take part in activities and all that in school. If they actually do not get their physiological needs fulfilled, they don't study. If they don't have any safe sense of safety here, they don't study. Even health-wise, now the child has a kind of a cancer. The child knows that he's a cancer child. The child will not be motivated for anything else. Okay. Sense of belongingness, group work, pair work, everybody is happy. That is what the teacher should see to. Right? Nobody is cornered, nobody is isolated. Sometimes teachers themselves do this now. Only the good, those who are good in studies are recognized. The others are not actually cared for. That you can't do. Each and every child, irrespective of their differences, abilities, levels, they need this. Okay, then only that they are motivated to go for some achievements, do well in their studies. And once these are actually fulfilled, one fine day, they will want to become self-actualizers and to do their best in everything they do. But that comes to them if the bottom layers are fulfilled. So you can understand the teacher's responsibility here. Okay. Now I want to tell you, there's a research paper. Now they have actually asked these students, no, sorry, we had this 3-decade war in the north and east. You saw very young, beautiful girls and boys, handsome ones. They got into terrorism, right? And they actually became suicide bombers and all that. So how did they do that? They brainwashed them to think, right? What kind of marriages, what kind of education? Marriage is love and belongingness. Education is esteem needs. They are useless for you because you're not safe in a country like this. Once they were brainwashed, they never wanted to fall in love and get married and to do well in do studies and do a job. But instead, they wanted to fight for their country because they were brainwashed to think like that. That is how this terrorism actually is promoted all throughout the, I think, across the globe. Anywhere, they brainwash and tell them you're not safe. Then of course they don't want to actually fall in love, have a family and to do their studies and to secure a job, and all these things are secondary for them because you're brainwashed to think you're not safe, right? That's it. Now, how to apply it in the class? I have given you lots of examples. Some of course I actually explain you while discussing, okay? So you can actually read that. I think that is enough for Maslow Kiela. Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So I discussed what is motivation, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, looking at the 5 layers. And the most important is the bottom layer is not fulfilled. They are not motivated for the second most important one. If the second most important one is not fulfilled, they are not motivated for the third most important, like that. That is why, okay, that you have to make sure that the bottoms are fulfilled. Then only that they will go to the 4th one, that education, right? Then Keller's arc, then we discuss the teacher implications of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? Then Keller's arcs model. If you look at Keller's arcs model, Keller actually, now here, if you take Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory, it's not actually related to a particular lesson that you do. It's generally how you can actually motivate your students to learn, right? It's generally how you can motivate. But if you take Keller's arcs model of motivation, that is very specifically with regard to a particular lesson. With regard to a particular lesson, how you can motivate your students to learn. That is, do you understand the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes.
Maslow's one is generally how you can motivate your students to learn. Keller's model in a particular lesson, how to actually get them to learn by motivating them. That is also very important, right? So I have actually given you a small grid that you can do, but we'll look at this and we'll discuss. ARCS, it stands for, it's an acronym. Okay, ARCS is an acronym. So it stands for A for attention, R for relevance, C for confidence, and S for satisfaction. So according to Keller, if you really want your students to learn that particular lesson, you have to cater to these four. That is, you have to get their students' attention. You have to show them the relevance of what they are going to learn today. You have to build up their confidence in actually learning what they know today, and a sense of satisfaction at the end of the day that I have learned this skill. You have to actually get them to fulfill these. Then only that they are motivated, they will be motivated to learn that particular lesson. So attention. So you can gain your students' attention by actually doing inquiry. You can ask them questions on what they already know, right? Do you have pets? You want to talk about pets. Do you have pets, right? What do you have at home, right? How do you spend time with them? Like that, you will actually, how do you look after your pet and all that? You can ask them some questions, inquiry, and get their attention. If not, you're talking about solar system. So you can actually, you're going to ask them, have you heard of the moon? And have you heard of this, the first person to actually step on the moon? And what do you know about it? And then like that, you can actually talk about what they know through inquiry. They pay attention. And humor. Humor is also another way of getting your students' attention. Humor is, you can actually make some funny things and talk about funny things and all that, and maybe that you bring in some kind of a drama or playlet to the class, and then they start laughing at it and all that. Some that variability. Not every day almost the same thing done to present the lesson or to get the attention. Some teachers, they every day they show them a visual. That is how they try to get the students' attention. No, you have to bring in variety to the classroom in getting the students' attention. Okay. Participation. When the students are active participants, they have to pay attention to it. If you make your students passive learners, they are just seated at the desk, as you all do now, right? They'll actually lose their motivation. Once you get them to, you actually do something, that is, you will be discussing it in methodology. You have to make it student-centered and student-active participants, especially in schools with young children. Then, of course, they will pay attention. Then concreteness. Concreteness means they can see, they can hear, they can touch, they can smell. So they can actually, the students pay attention there. And incongruity and conflict. Sometimes you actually tell them something that they already know is wrong. What they know about something is wrong. So you actually create a kind of a conflict or incongruity, a mismatch. Then they become actually interested and pay attention. Can you give me an example of something like that? Now, you have taught them in English language, past tense and past participle, they are formed by adding ed. Now here you tell them, now here look at this for the first time. Sing, sang, right? Write, wrote. This is a past tense. You're creating mismatch between what they know and what you tell them, and they will actually start paying attention to it. Okay, right? You will ask them, what is the past tense of past participle of write? They might say write and righted. So rather, look at this. Then of course their attention is drawn towards it, right? In teaching them irregular verbs, something like that. So you have to first actually get You have to, if you want to motivate your students, the first element is getting their attention. And then relevance. Relevance means you have to show them what they are going to learn is very useful for them. Useful for them in everyday life, useful for them for the sake of examinations, useful for them to do the next lesson tomorrow, right? Like that, you have to show them, this is relevant to you. You have to draw their experiences into the lesson. Then they see, it's relevant to me, no? Like that. So for me to do my O levels, I need to do this. So you can take past paper papers and show, every year you get a question like that. So showing the relevance relating to your everyday life, school life, examinations, experiences, that of course is very helpful. And then you go to the third one. Third is confidence. Third is confidence. Learning requirements, self-confidence, expectations, attributions, and difficulty. I will tell you what is it, Kela. Confidence, rather than you will understand it. Now, if you're going to present them something very difficult, you have to put them into small parts. Starts with something that they already know, and then present a small part and get them to actually learn it, and then go to the next after checking that they have learned it, and then make it a bit more difficult. And then actually by chunking, by making it step by step, by recalling what they already know, by giving them examples, and you're building up their confidence that I can learn this. That is also very important. Some teachers, they don't think about that. They just walk into the class, go on telling, giving them all big, difficult questions and all that. No, you have to make sure small part, it's explained, it's understood, then go to the next part, and then they get a sense of confidence. I'm learning that, I have learned it, now I can learn the next part, like, okay. Then you come to the satisfaction. Satisfaction is the students see that they have learned it. How can you do that? You don't have to wait till the end of the lesson and say, you have learned only, we are giving a set of questions, they have got only 2 out of 10. You have got only 5 out of 10. No sense of satisfaction. Instead, that you can give them group work, pair work, they work in a group and everybody's getting together, share their knowledge and do something. You're giving them a sense of satisfaction, right? And you look at what they actually have learned and get them to see, I have learned it. You're not going to actually penalize the child for not what they have learned, but for what they have learned. Nobody will learn 100%. So if you actually conduct the lesson to build up their confidence in a way that they will be learning even the weakest one little by little, right? And then actually it will give them a sense of satisfaction. Okay. So that is how that you can actually promote motivation, get your learners to be motivated to learn a particular lesson. Is it understood?
Yeah, madam.
I went on talking, I think better. There's a small video clip. I will get you to actually watch it, okay? The ARCS model. I will get you to watch it. There was a link. Okay, let me see. No, this one. It's happening now. You have to give me some time. I have to share the computer sound also.
This is Dave, head of marketing at a ketchup company, about to use Grammarly to handle a type.
Can you
Hello
hear
and
and
welcome
see?
to Teachings and Education. The ARCS
Yeah,
model motivate student learning. Credit given to John Keller. Build student motivation to learn and participate in your classroom. Some teachers can't get their students to learn because they just can't motivate them. The idea is that an increase in student motivation will lead to an increase in student productivity. What can you actually do to get your students motivated and keep them motivated? Well, teachers can get and sustain student motivation through these 4 upcoming elements brought to you by John Keller. Each box will house one of Keller's elements. First up is the A from ARCS, which stands for attention. And one way to get their attention is to use humor. There's nothing wrong with adding a laugh in every once in a while. Inquiry-based learning methods will inherently keep your students' attention. Present students with an interesting dilemma or problem to solve and watch them get excited. Use both visual and auditory stimuli. You can find some great infographics and visually intriguing models for students. Even consider musical adaptations of content, the quadratic formula song. And lastly, vary the method in which you present your material. You shouldn't lecture every single time. Maybe playing an engaging YouTube video as a change of pace. The next element to motivate your students is relevance. Students find learning relevant when they're able to build upon their prior skills and knowledge. Let your students know how this lesson relates to the prior lesson and how it relates to anything they have learned. Students will ask themselves, remember, we are teaching to children and adolescents. They live in a now and me world, as any parent knows. Yet, students still want to know if what they learn today will help them in the future. Math teachers constantly hear the question, when will I ever use this? To increase student motivation, provide choice in your class assignments. One lesson, for example, can offer 2 different assignments, one a project presentation and the other a research paper, and then let the student make a choice. Continuing with the third element to increase motivation, C from ARCS, confidence. Students need to believe they can do the work. You can help them believe by first providing small but achievable goals for your students, which will build confidence. You need to help your students believe that they can succeed and be successful. They often think, what's the point of me trying if I'm just going to fail anyway? So help them believe. Whenever there's an opportunity, give positive feedback to your students. Positive feedback will gradually help students build confidence. Ultimately, you want students to think that their success is of their own doing. This means avoiding simply giving your students the answers. Let them work it out for themselves. And the last element of student motivation, the S from ARCS, is satisfaction. I think teachers sometimes forget that learning should be a rewarding process. Earning good grades in class is a legitimate achievement, something to be proud of. Also, give students the grades that they have earned. Don't patronize them by giving them an A when they didn't deserve it. Make sure an A is something special. Students lose faith in themselves and the school when they receive grades they didn't feel they really earned. And lastly, allow the learner to make use of their knowledge. It's best if you can create some opportunities for students to apply what they've learned for future lessons and situations outside of the classroom. So right now I would like to say thank you for your time. Please subscribe to this channel and consider these ideas for student motivation. Also, be sure to like and share this video as well.
Okay. Got a better idea? Hello.
Yes, madam.
Right. Okay, now we have another 15 minutes. Before we actually stop, I want to repeat what I said to you. Your paper is 2.5 hours. I will set 5 questions and you have to select any 4. And the areas are what is not given for written assignment, I'm not taking it. I will take the first session, that is Introduction to Educational Psychology, in which I discuss what is psychology, what is educational psychology, the 4 major schools of thought and teacher implications of educational psychology. Okay, that is one. Second one is motivation, today what we discuss. Third one is intelligence, last week lesson. And then different types of intelligences, looking at MI theory, it's briefly discussed, and then Sternberg's, right, triarchical, and then the advanced add-on theory. Then we had a look at regulation, right, as an intelligence, like that. I think that you remember. Am I right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Then I will actually get you to look at social development and learning. There we discuss actually Erik Erikson's theory as a theory of learning. And we discuss what is social development and all that. So that tute is very important. I hope that you all have the Erik Erikson's theory as well. Am I right? Did I discuss the 8 stages of Erik Erikson's theory? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Then the last part will be that there are some learning theories we did not actually consider for the written assignment. They are Gagne's information processing theory, the 9 events, and Bandura's social learning theory. And then in Bandura's social learning theory, Vygotsky. When it comes to Gagne's 9 events of instruction, gaining attention, recalling, informing the learner about the objectives of the lesson, recalling prior knowledge, presenting stimulus, like that, we discussed 9 events. Did we discuss?
Yes, madam, you
Yeah.
discussed.
Yeah. Then we discuss actually, we discuss Bandura's social learning theory. There, of course, Bandura talks about observational learning, and we observe and learn from our society. And then there should be models for us to observe and learn. So when it comes to classroom situation, we discuss how this observation learning takes place and the teacher's responsibility in making available 3 models: live model, verbal instructional model, and symbolic models. And then we discuss for the more observational learning to become successful, there should be 4 steps to be fulfilled: attention, retention, motivation, and reproduction. So otherwise one is missing, that learning will not take place. We discussed that. And then further Bobo-Doll experiment, that is also discussed. So when it comes to Vygotsky, it's a socio-cultural learning theory. We learn from our society, our culture, with our relationships we have with them. Now, if you're born into a music family, you will be interested in music and you will learn music. If you're from a farming family, you will learn to actually love animals and to work in the field and all that. So then MKO, more knowledgeable other, ZPD, zone of proximal development, and scaffolding. That is what we discuss under Vygotsky. So you have notes, you have recordings, you have to actually access them and learn. Are you okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Any question?
Yeah, madam.
Yeah, any question regarding the paper or structure of the paper? No?
Yes,
For
ma'am.
that, we want to use handwriting or typing, madam.
I think you have to, it's a handwritten one. You all have to scan and upload, no?
Okay, madam.
All these instructions will be given to you by the institute.
Okay, madam.
But what I want to know is that you all study and come, because they will get you to have your cameras on and you will not be able to copy and write. The questions also will not be set like that, that you can copy the answers from the notes or internet or whatever. Then actually you have to think and write. Okay, application component. So you study. Then I have made it very feasible one for you, right? Anyway, we covered the syllabus. Written assignment is there for you to actually look at the half of your syllabus, and the rest of it is from the rest of the syllabus. So which is not actually assessed in the written assignment. So because of that, I think it's now feasible. You will have a month's time, and hope that you all will do the justice scalar. What do you think?
We will try, madam. Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
yes, definitely you can, and I want you to.
We'll try our best, madam.
Madam, excuse
So,
me.
yeah,
Is
dear.
the last day of your lecture, madam? Your lecture?
Yeah, today is my last day.
Madam, you are very kind, right? So we love.
Right? Is that so?
Yes, madam. We are waiting to see your face.
I'm not presentable. Last time I promised you, but I'm very sorry I'm not presentable. Not even my hair. Sorry about it. Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, then.
Thank
I think that we can finish our lesson, though there are
We
8
were
more.
eagerly looking at you, madam.
Maybe one fine day. No, don't worry, right? Yeah. Maybe in another module or whatever, that we will be able to see each other. So I forgot about it. Otherwise, I could have actually combed my hair and all that and come on screen.
Madam, from you we learned a lot. Because
Thank you very much for your feedback, and I want you to, because I'm always a student friendly teacher. I really do not want to actually fail you. Because of that, you can see even how the paper is set. I want you to study, but not from the whole area, because the written assignment is done and that part is covered. Like that, I make it feasible. So you have to do your part. Okay.
Okay, madam. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Then this is the actually, yeah, last day, and then only what is remaining is our meritness exam. So it will be held in a month's time. Keep in touch with the institute, get the dates and all the other information. And until that such time, you know what to study also. And I will be sending you some signposting questions. Signposting questions doesn't mean that is the type of question you get. Right? Structured essay are different. These are signposting. Signposting, what are the important areas of that topic that you have to pay attention to? Right? So they are only signposting questions. They are not the model questions. Signposting questions is sent, then you know what? These are the areas that we should not actually miss. They are the important areas of this topic. You get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
So don't think this is the type of questions that you're getting, structured essays. But I will actually get you to look at some questions, because you know they are important areas of the topic here. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Right. Okay, then. So then thank you very much, every one of you. Then good night.
Thank you
keep
so much,
studying.
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks a lot,
Okay,
ma'am.
good night.
Good night.
And I want every one of you to study, yeah?
Okay, ma'am. Sure.
That's a must. Okay. Bye. Good night.
Bye. Good night.